I am happy to report this wave of positive, encouraging new moon energy in Taurus. This is happening May 7th at 8:22 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and a Taurus new moon with Venus, and we just had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Venus is in its domicile in Taurus, so it is going to be expressing its more, well, Venus is often positive. It can have its shadow sides like every planet does, but this moment we are going to be feeling inspired for love. We are going to be feeling like the world is a more beautiful place to live in. This Taurus likes to stop and smell the roses and enjoy good food. If this is spring for you, then this is the energy where things are blossoming and coming to life, and that's what you're going to be feeling with this new moon cycle. This is an activation of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction we just had on April 19th, 20th in Taurus. So if you didn't feel anything then, watch for new developments or intentions coming from you around this new moon. And this could have to do with organizing your life in a way that allows you to enjoy more pleasure and more of life's simple delights. Because this is an 18-degree moon, this has some Virgo energy to it. So that's why I talk about organization and an amalgamation of ideas and concepts that are put into practical use, and in a way that has some grounded, stable, long-term energy. This moon is sending a beautiful sextile to Saturn, which, if you've been having a tough time with Saturn in your chart, and I will talk about that in the sign by sign, this moon has an opportunity to take all of those tough lessons and put them to good use. So this is where I see more practical developments of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, that if that was just an idea or a concept, then you might start to see some materialization and something take form with this new moon cycle. If new people are coming into your life, there is a stable, long-term energy behind it. And this certainly could have to do with romance for some of you, whether you're in a relationship or you're looking for one. This is beautiful energy to start something new under, and is very likely going to bring you long-term pleasure, feel really stable and grounded, and be something or someone that you can share life's pleasures with, and the small things. Taurus likes security and stability, so what we're putting into action is going to be motivated by that you want something you can count on. And with this type of energy, you can create it. We have Mars now in Aries, and Mercury is direct. Yay! So this is a green light to move forward with communication, big purchases, electronic purchases. You're going to have fewer delays and mix-ups. So if you've been experiencing that for April, you can look forward to forward momentum in May and a lot of positive planetary support behind it. Mercury is feeling very inspired to express and talk about the wounds that each person is going through and healing. Chiron and Mercury are together at the time of this new moon, so there's going to be more talk about what we're going through from a personal wounds perspective. And I think bringing it into a new, healed, more beautiful light with this Taurus new moon. So we just had a Scorpio full moon, and that's the energy that's a bit raw and exposing of pain and trauma and experiences that we carry that were hurtful. But this shift promises transforming that energy into something we want to carry forward. If you felt emotional upheaval over the eclipses and over our last full moon, then rest assured, this Taurus new moon is an energy that you can harness and feel more stable and practical moving forward. And probably because you explored the right things, you dove into that Scorpio full moon energy full force, you soaked in those dreams and took the lessons and the learning from whatever pain might have been exposed, whatever dark sides of life might have been exposed. And now we're on the other side of that wheel where we're noticing the beauty again. We're noticing the beauty, and we're able to create more of it ourselves from a healed, more solid place. From a place of understanding that pain and beauty and the shadow sides and the blissful sides of life, they really do coexist. And when we embrace both, we can really truly embrace some of the beauty that exists. Finances and security and long-term plans and organization and getting all of our ducks in a row to create this long-term stable vision for ourselves is going to be a big focus. It's going to be a big motivating energy behind whatever action starts to unfold after this new moon. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining me here and commenting and liking, subscribing. It really means a lot and is so much fun. I look forward to it every time. Watch your sun, moon, and rising if you know all three to get a better understanding of how this is showing up for you. Just merge all of the themes that I'm talking about together and see how it fits your life. And if you just know your sun sign, then do keep in mind that's going to be one part of your life, and there are other energies that are going to be playing out too. But all in all, lots of good things for this cycle, and I'll see you there. Hi, Scorpio. This is a partnership new moon for you in the 7th house. So what a lovely energy to have for partnerships. With Venus there, with Jupiter, Uranus, you probably are experiencing some big changes in relationships, maybe unexpectedly so. And this is when you're going to start to see the beautiful manifestation that's possible. Especially if eclipse season felt erratic for you, you're really going to appreciate how this new moon is going to settle things and really bring the promise of the type of relationship that you have always dreamt of and really idealized. As a Scorpio, you want stability in your partnerships. You want something you can count on. You want sensuality. You want beauty. You want pleasure. These are all things that are going to start to grow for you in an even bigger way over the next 6 months. There might be something about creative projects, children, shared hobbies, and things that you do for fun with your partner that are creating some of the emphasis around the stability and pleasure that's showing up in your partnership. So do fun things together. Find some hobbies that you both like to do. Maybe you're finding a new creative partner for something else if it's not relationships. That's another way that this could show up. If you have children, a more stable routine that's playing out with your children, and that's creating more space for you and your partner to have fun and really enjoy each other. Saturn is in your 5th house of pleasure, creativity, children. This is the house of sex and the sex that we have for pleasure. So there might be some restructuring that's going on with those topics that is having a positive effect on partnerships, or vice versa. If this is a new person that's coming into your life, there's going to be really positive energy that's shed on that area. As far as maybe this is a new person that makes you feel more creative flow, there's a strong chance that art is part of what's showing up in any form. If creativity feels like it's been harder to tap into with Saturn in this part of your chart, maybe you're spending more time having fun with your partner and enjoying pleasure with somebody else, and that starts feeding your creativity and you start to feel that amp up again. Great energy to go out and play, Scorpio. I really love this new moon for you. It's where work and day-to-day activities that you might have more communication stirring and more, you certainly could have a lot more energy and momentum to put into your day-to-day activities and work. If you have employees, there could be some conflicts that show up. This likely is creating a conflict because it's activating either your wound or someone else's, and there's some communication that needs to be done to help each other out. With Mars in your 6th house, you might just be feeling more motivated to get a lot done every day. And I hope that that involves some pleasurable things too. But it looks like you're getting the hard stuff out of the way and making room for both. So that's really lovely. This is a really good energy to organize your day-to-day life so that you do have more room for your partner, more room for your children, and more room for play. So that's what could be going on in the 6th house with Aries and Mars and Mercury, is that you're getting more efficient. You're getting everything done and making room for fun. Let me know in the comments below, Scorpio, what kind of relationship surprises are showing up. Maybe brand new people are showing up and showing you a whole new way to enjoy life. So if you've been working really hard, then I see some shifts happening there. The nodes might be transforming work for you altogether with the eclipse energy that we have been having. But it looks like it's for a very good cause. So I hope it's going really well for you, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Sagittarius. This new moon is all about the 6th house for you. So work, routines, organization, employees if you have them. This is your day-to-day life. And this is a brand new beginning for revolutionary change in how you manage your life, how you manage day-to-day activities, and how do you make room for it all. The Jupiter and Uranus conjunction on the 20th might have been the beginning of creating some of this change. Something unexpected could have happened with work, maybe even health, that is forcing you to look at things differently and revolutionize how you operate on a day-to-day basis. This typically is often seen as a more challenging house in astrology, but with a moon like this, there's nothing to worry about. This could even bring, if you have been dealing with any health conditions or any issues, even with lawyers or police officers or any kind of law. Small pets are also covered in this house, but this type of energy is just breaking into new territory. With Jupiter and Venus both there, this could be extremely healing in how it shows up for you. You are feeling very passionate about fun and pleasure right now. You have Mars and Mercury and Chiron and the eclipses. The activity has been in your 5th house, whether it's children, pleasure, dating, hobbies, creativity, expressing your God-given talents. You are on fire right now in this department. This could activate old wounds in the process, but with energy like this at the new moon, this has the potential to really create work that helps heal those wounds and ultimately gives you space to have a lot more fun and a lot more play and a lot more pleasure. The restriction and discipline is coming from home for you or your inner world. And this sextile connection between Saturn and the moon tells me that maybe you're working from home and the discipline is going really well there. Maybe there's some motivation and discipline coming from your mother, or just the way that you were nurtured in your upbringing to be disciplined. There could be some restrictions around home itself, if this is your actual home. However, this Saturn energy is showing up in your fourth house, this is to benefit work and your day-to-day life. So you might be working really hard at home, redoing things, restructuring things, and that's somehow supporting your work life, especially for those of you who work at home. With energy like this and Venus being close to the new moon, you could meet somebody at work that you start a romantic relationship with, or through work, maybe a client or somebody that has some sort of work connection for you. Or a female could be coming into the workplace that starts to create some positive shifts that really revolutionizes the way things are done and creates a much more enjoyable and pleasurable work environment. Overall, this has wonderful energy for work and health, and I'm very happy to report that whatever is going on is likely going to last. And this is the nice, steady, stable, financially supportive, secure feeling that you want to have with work and with creativity and with home. And these are the parts of your chart that are lit up right now. If you have children, there could be a lot more communication and agitation with them. So watch for that, but know that it will pass. Mercury going direct now in your fifth house could also represent that you just feel easier time expressing your creativity, expressing your creative side, and really who you truly are on the inside. That is one of the gifts of Mercury finishing its transit through your fifth house, and especially now that it's gone direct. So you might have felt in April more than other signs that it was challenging to express yourself. And the point of that is that when we face those challenges of restricted expression or not going so well or past issues coming up, we pay more attention and we develop more tools to carry that forward in a more optimal way. And if this has to do with your children, then that could be the case too, that some of the frustrations that were going on with them, they now can express better what they need and move forward in a easier, smoother, more fun and playful way. So whatever this Saturn is doing in your fourth house, hopefully it is creating a really grounded, steady, stable foundation energy for you to pour more into pleasure and work and health. This fresh start definitely holds a lot of promise for good things when it comes to work and health as a big part of what's going on for you, Sag. So I hope that this is turning out really lovely for you and that you are feeling the momentum and inspiration of spring. Taurus energy is a great time to stop and smell the roses and be really present with the simple pleasures in life. So enjoy, Sag, and I'll see you next time. Capricorn, this is a fifth house new moon for you. So this is all about play, pleasure, creative joy, hobbies, your children, how you have fun in this world. I love this for you, Capricorn, because, well, you're not one of the most fun signs of the zodiac. It doesn't mean that you're not. There's going to be a lot of variation in everybody's charts, everybody's personal charts. But overall, Capricorn energy is about perseverance and discipline and getting things done and working hard. And a Capricorn needs a Taurus new moon to get this activation of joy. Especially if you are a Capricorn rising, you might feel that May is typically a month where you enjoy more pleasure, and it kickstarts the summer. And maybe a lot of Capricorn ruled people typically embody a heavier energy in the winter and really lighten up and have fun in the summer. So this could be the kickoff event for that. And what a beautiful new moon to have that happen with Venus there. you could be feeling more creative and motivated to do things that are pleasurable. If this has to do with your children, there may have been some unexpected, beautiful, revolutionary changes with them, and that is allowing you to have more fun and play with them more. If they're of the age where they still play, and even if they're not, this encourages fun, creative, pleasurable times. You might be feeling more agitated at home with Mars in this part of your chart. Maybe you're feeling motivated to do stuff around the house, to make some changes and renovate. But there could be something frustrating at home or with your family that triggers some wounds, encourages conversations that maybe you were mulling over for the month of April when Mercury was retrograde. But now Mercury is direct. You have the green light to have those tough conversations. Just know that with Mars in this part of your chart in the fourth house, you could feel more agitated on the inside than usual. Put that into creative expression if you can. That's going to be the healthiest form of release right now. If you play any musical instruments or you enjoy writing projects, whatever it may be, sports and hobbies are here too. So if you have sports and hobbies that you love, it's a great way to funnel some of that Mars energy. And it could certainly be home or farming projects, and you're just feeling like you have a lot of energy to put into that. Another great way to use this Mars to the best, put it to the best use. Saturn is in your third house of communication. So I think that you're being really careful with your words these days. You might be holding back, and especially if you have Mars with Mars in the fourth house, what's brewing on the inside for you emotionally, you probably know it's not the best to just express it haphazardly and not take the time to really sort it out and express things in the best possible way for everyone. Especially when it comes to your children. So if you have conversations that you want to have with them, maybe you're holding back with what you want to say to your children because you're being more disciplined with your mind and your words, and you're really only expressing what you feel is necessary and recognizing that some things could just be hurtful and damaging and not helpful. So there's some discipline that you are working on there. And this also you might feel restricted with short distance travel with your siblings. There could be some restriction there, or neighbors, but also your mental space overall, your day-to-day mind. This is where you could feel a little lower in spirits. But because of this lovely energy of the new moon, I feel like that's going to shift around this time. So the Saturn in your third house is a longer transit. It's going to be here for another year or more. And that could have you overall feeling a little bit more melancholy in your day-to-day experiences, your day-to-day mental patterns. And the intention of that is to restructure them. So it's not just to feel down for the sake of feeling down, but if that's been your experience, the work with Saturn here is to adjust and restructure how you use your mind and make it work for you, not against you. But in that process, that could mean sometimes bringing up the murky stuff in our minds that is bogging us down, and we recognize it, and then we create those shifts. This is a perfect new moon to do that under. So this is where you might get some inspired energy from the planets to realize that the heaviness of the mind is just not worth it. And at this time, you want to put more energy into the playful side of life and really get back to the pleasures that we're meant to enjoy here in whatever form that is for you. I do feel that our earthly experience can be heavy and full of work, and nobody knows that more than a Capricorn. But we are here to have some fun too. And sometimes when there's so much discipline, the fun takes the back burner, but not this month, Capricorn. So go out and play. Let me know what kind of fun is showing up for you, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Aquarius. This is a beautiful new moon in your fourth house. So this is home, family matters, your inner world. With a new moon in your fourth house, you might feel a bit more internal and wanting time alone. A new moon is generally a good time to do that. It's a good time to reflect and set intentions and go within. And it looks like that's exactly what you're doing. You could be enjoying more romance at home, and maybe unexpectedly so. This is a time where Saturn is reworking your self-worth and your assets and what you value. And with a beautiful sextile from the moon to that Saturn, any challenges that you have been facing when it comes to your self-worth and assets, and what you value, and if you've been feeling a little bit lower in that part of your life, then this new moon has the potential to really uplift and create some change. So you're going to see the hard work that you've been putting in start to create some really positive ripples, and I think it's going to feel a whole lot better than what you've been going through for the last couple of months. Communication is fired up big time with Mars in your third house, Mercury there. Any wounds that you have had around expression have the potential for a lot of healing right now. And forward movement, so Mercury retrograde here might have put more emphasis on communication, and maybe there were more communication mishaps. This could be with writing or speaking or emails, short distance travel. Maybe things just weren't feeling super smooth, or maybe you were going over things from the past. But Mercury is direct now, and this is a green light for any short distance trips you want to make. You might be feeling motivated to do more of those, or you're just feeling extra chatty and ready to get things off your chest and express your values, express what matters to you, and your ability to express your self-worth and what's truly on the inside could feel like it's easier to do now than ever. Or at least the pieces are falling into place, and there's forward movement with that. On April 20th, we had our Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. There may have been some unexpected things that happened related to home, maybe your family, your inner world. If you didn't see anything then over the new moon has potential to activate more, and as the rest of the planets cross over that point, you might see more and more developments happening with home. Some of you could be moving, changing locations, changing your physical home. If you're moving right now, you're very likely to find a beautiful home that you're really happy with, and it could come up in a really unexpected way. Might have caught you off guard. Maybe you weren't planning on moving, and your dream home just showed up and you had to jump on it. Now that Mercury is direct, you have the green light to sign contracts and anything else related to those matters. And with Mercury in your third house, you could just be drafting more writing in general, doing more writing projects, sending more emails, feeling really, really busy and motivated in that way. This new moon packs a lot of lovely energy, Aquarius, and I hope that you are feeling really cozy at home and enjoying that space right now. It looks like you are. And I think you're going to really appreciate this lovely energy at home because you are going through these new changes of self with Pluto in your first house, and depending on your personal chart, that can be a lot of work and a lot of upheaval and a lot of transformation. So a moon like this really has the potential to create a gentle place to land and feeling really at home in yourself in a beautiful way that you have been wanting to experience for quite some time, potentially. Have a wonderful new moon cycle, Aquarius, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Pisces. This is a beautiful new moon in your third house. This is wonderful energy for communication, writing projects, short distance travel, siblings, neighbors, close community. You might have had some unexpected surprises in this part of your life. And if you haven't felt it yet, there's potential for that activation to continue with this new moon and over the next couple of months as more planets cross over the point where this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happened in your third house. You could be revolutionizing the way that you express yourself and the way that you communicate, the way that you think on a daily basis. You're transforming your thoughts, and that is going to have a really positive effect on your reality. And that brings me to Saturn in your house. Saturn is in Pisces, and it is restructuring who you are. This moon has the potential to really shift your thoughts and really, therefore, and as a result, who you are as a person. It doesn't mean you're going to see it all right away, but this is an activation point where when you look back 6 months from now, you can look at this time in your life as something that was really significant in that transformation. You're feeling motivated for finances, your values, your assets, and that motivation is going to be strong all month with Mars in your second house. This energy could create some inflammation around the throat. So with all of this activity in your third house, if you're somebody who communicates a lot for work, take extra care to nourish your throat and your vocal cords, lots of warm teas, and take a lot of breaks. Because when you're pumping out a lot of communication, then that could be the time where there's a bit of an inflammatory response with Mars there, just to slow you down if you're overdoing it. So keep that in mind with balance. Don't want to lose your voice over it and then have a bigger setback with whatever it is you're trying to get off the ground here with your communication. With Mars in this part of your chart, some assets could be severed. And this isn't the income that you receive from work, but this might be belongings that you already have. You could be clearing things out and minimizing some of your possessions. And you might just be cutting out things that you thought you valued and realizing that you don't as much anymore, especially with this new moon energy in your thought process. There's a lot of overlap here when it comes to the things that you think about, the way you use your mind, and what you value in a material way. On a side note, you could be drawn to more spicy foods and more flavorful, warm foods at this time, and it would be good for you to have those as well. So go for it if you're drawn to it. If you're looking for romance, that there's definitely some energy with this new moon for that. And this would be somebody that you meet in your neighborhood, through a sibling, online, maybe keep communication over the internet. And it could just be that in a current romantic relationship, you are finding that you're communicating a lot more with a lot more ease, or maybe just in a way that's really different that you haven't done before with someone else. If art is on your mind, then that's likely to have a communication flair to it. So art is through words at this time. It could be in a really beautiful writing project for those of you that are doing a lot of writing. It's a great time to put your pen to the paper or type out that essay. The words are really going to flow. and it's going to manifest into something. This is, of course, with the work behind it, but with this type of energy, if you're working on a writing project, this has the potential to really last a long time, go the distance, create financial security, and all of those good things. It might even surprise you and be part of the personal transformation that you're going through in restructuring who you are. Excellent energy for writing projects, writing a book, writing a blog, any of that stuff. If you're drawn to it or you've been thinking about it for some time, wonderful time to launch. Not necessarily launch, but begin this new project. On the day of the new moon, which is May 8th, this is a time where you want to spend more time thinking about things, setting intentions, planting the seeds. If you do need to take action, do that a few days after the new moon, maybe 3 days. You want the moon to start gaining more light when you're putting things into action. At the time of the new moon, it is at its darkest and it has the least amount of light. It is growing. So this is another cycle where whatever we put our minds to, whatever our intention is, it really does have the potential to grow. So I hope that this is going really well for you, Pisces. Let me know in the comments below how this is showing up for you, and have a wonderful new moon cycle. I'll see you next time. Hi, Aries. This is a new moon in your second house. This is a new beginning for what you value, your material belongings, your emotional and mental values, what you really value in life overall, your self-worth. How do you value yourself? Because of the Venus connection, this could have to do with values in relationships. You might be spending a lot of time talking to your significant other about mutual values and what you want to create and what really matters to the both of you. On April 20th, you had the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction here. So something could have unexpectedly shifted that made you start thinking about your values a little bit more. This could even be the energy where you unexpectedly came into more assets for whatever reason. With Venus in the second house, you could be, and Jupiter is still here too, so you could be drawn to just enjoying food more, enjoying that sort of earthly pleasure. And that's a phase, or this is a period of time. So while Venus is here for the next month and Jupiter not a whole lot longer, enjoy that energy while it's here, and it will shift. So food is something that we are here to enjoy, and nobody knows that more than a Taurus, which is where this energy is showing up. Mars is in Aries, and that is going to give you this fire and motivation overall. You are probably feeling more energy. You might feel agitated, so watch for that. Also a time where you want to slow down when you need to. So cutting with a sharp knife, don't stub your toe. Those are the kind of things that can happen with Mars in your first house. Just moving so quickly that we're a little bit more susceptible to accidents. Generally not a big deal unless this is something that is destined to show up in your chart. Generally not a big deal unless there's something in your personal chart that is bringing more of that energy in, but your body could feel more inflamed. So if you are going through this phase where you're enjoying more pleasurable food and you're not just eating for health, but you're eating for pure joy and pleasure, you could be experiencing some of the inflammatory side effects of that in your body. And again, this is temporary. In another month, you'll be out of that energy and everything will settle down again. So keep that in mind. I like to always enjoy the pleasure phases as they come, because life is hard enough. So if you are called to enjoy those things, then know that any negative reactions from it will pass. With Saturn in your 12th house, you might be going through a phase where you're applying more discipline if you have a tendency to self-sabotage in any way. And this is sending lovely sextile from the moon to Saturn. So if you've been struggling with any self-destructive or avoidant tendencies that you have, so this is the part of the chart where we just want to check out from reality and not engage in the day-to-day life. Sometimes substances allow us to do that a little bit more easily, or whatever it is that you are using to escape and retreat the difficulties of life. This is a time where you're going to feel motivated for a healthier change and to ingest healthier things into your body. Maybe some of the eclipse energy shook things up there, and now you're feeling inspired to treat your body really well and enjoy the pleasure of health. 12th house is not just about that. There could be some things that were hidden that are coming to light with this energy. It could have to do with overseas travel, faraway places next to the ocean, if that applies to you. So a lot of different possibilities with that one. I also like to talk a lot about our connections to the unseen realm, that you might be working on with this energy in a more spiritual way. You're finding that it's supporting your self-worth. If this is a spiritual journey and that's how it's manifesting, perhaps it's about this higher purpose, or that we're all connected, that is somehow giving you, somehow leveling up how you feel about yourself and your importance in your role here on Earth. And if that's the case, it could be changing your possessions too. So maybe you're going through a lot of spiritual changes and you're either letting go of possessions or adding them. You might not be letting them go quite yet, but when Mars moves into your second house in another month, then this might just be the beginning where you're starting to think about it. And then that would be probably in June. You might feel more motivated to cut things out and reduce some of the belongings that you have. Lots of energy here for you, Aries. You're probably feeling more expressive now that Mercury is going direct. You have the green light to also move forward with anything that you felt was a little slow in April. You'll start to feel things pick up, and especially with your health and body and physical energy levels, those are looking a lot more positive. So let me know in the comments below if you're experiencing unexpected assets, financial blessings. Maybe this is a health journey for you and you're starting to shift how you manage your body and manage your energy levels. You're definitely getting all the planetary support for that. And I hope it's going really well for you, as well as being able to enjoy discipline and restriction and pleasure. That's the big balancing act here for this moon cycle's energy. Enjoy, Aries, and I'll see you next time. Happy birthday, Taurus! This is your new moon, and what a lovely moon to have your solar return under. So those Tauruses out there who have birthdays from early to mid-May are going to benefit from this new moon the most. But all Tauruses out there are tapping into this beautiful new beginning energy. For you, this is about yourself. This is your body. It really could show up anywhere in your chart. A fresh start for you in any way that is playing out right now. So let's look at a few of the other energies showing up for a Taurus right now. So one, you have Venus in your first house with this moon. If you want to do any cosmetic upgrades, surgeries, definitely a great time for haircuts, changing your look, buying new clothes. Green light. Mercury's direct now, and you have a lot of positive energy when it comes to beauty. You are going to be seen in a really lovely light, so throw yourself a birthday party. All eyes are going to be on you, and people are going to be seeing the very best sides of you with Venus in your first house. A Venus in the first house transit on its own is one of my favorites. It is definitely a time to enjoy the pleasures of life, and Taurus, you're no stranger to that. So have your cake and eat it too this year, as they say. Now, Saturn is joining this moon with positive sextile, but Saturn can sometimes feel a bit restrictive. So if you do throw that birthday party, you might have a smaller group show up for you. You might have fewer people message you this year, or the people that really have a long-term place in your life are going to be the ones that are gathering with you around your birthday time. For those of you who are Taurus risings and it's not your birthday, or you have a Taurus moon, these same things are going to apply. Saturn in your 11th house is asking for revision of who you spend your time with, who your networks are, who your community is. And you want people that are dependable. You might have experienced in the past that your community always felt a little bit elusive, non-committal, creative types. Maybe not always the people that a Taurus can depend on in the ways that a Taurus defines accountability. But that's changing right now. And there's some connection to the way that you're changing and the people that you're attracting. And that is creating a restructuring there. Saturn can talk about boundaries. And as a Taurus, you typically have stronger boundaries of self, what you're willing to accept in your life and what you're not willing to. So maybe with Saturn there, this is not as much of an opportunity to restrict and create stronger boundaries, but if that applies to you, that is definitely one of the indications. It could mean that you're going on the other side of things and softening a little bit, opening yourself up to new people that maybe you wouldn't have in the past. With Mars in your 12th house, this is a time where you could feel more motivated for a time out. You might be enjoying time alone as well. So even though that's a bit contradictory to some of this other energy, maybe as you're restructuring your communities and networks, you're finding that solitude and peace is a nice reprieve. With Mars in the 12th house, another possibility is that any frustrations and motivations and passions, that intense initiative side of you, might be a little hard to reach. So you just might be feeling a bit more chill and less motivated to do some of the typical things that you do. But don't fret. That's going to switch again in another month, and you'll have Mars in your sign, and that's going to have you all fired up and passionate about whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Jupiter and Uranus just made their conjunction in your house and in your first house. You have had this Uranus energy for quite some time. This is erratic change that might feel uncomfortable at times. It's going to come in waves, so it's not all the time. But on April 20th, it joined Jupiter, and Jupiter is about to leave your sign. Jupiter brings blessings and abundance and expansion, prosperity. It's a really healing, beneficial energy. So as this moves into Gemini, don't worry. When it moves into Gemini, this means that you're going to have more of that when it comes to assets, the foods that you eat. You'll have a whole year of this where you just might feel like you want to indulge more or sometimes less. But as a Taurus, it's going to be about the quality of the food you enjoy and really taking the best experiences from that. But overall, this is really good for assets, There's a chance you might make some big purchases over the coming year, starting in June when Jupiter moves into that part of your chart. Overall, it's a very beneficial place to have Jupiter just as much as it was to have it in your house. So with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, you might have noticed some sudden revolutionary change when it comes to your body, your health, how you're seen by other people. You could be getting more spiritual downloads and feeling inspired in that way. Maybe that's part of why you're taking a time out. Maybe you are on more of a spiritual path right now and you're taking time to yourself to meditate and connect with some of the energy around you and the energy inside yourself. This really does speak to an energy of getting to know yourself better and being really introspective and tuned in with your energy and the frequency that you carry. You could be on a journey where you're managing your own energy levels and the frequency that you share with others and seeing how that changes your community, how that changes your networks, and how that changes everything around you. Whatever this journey holds, Taurus, I hope that it's going really well for you. I hope you have an amazing birthday season and that this new moon brings really positive changes for yourself and the journey that you're on for the next year ahead. I'll see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is a 12th house new moon for you. So lots of activity in your 12th house. This is a hidden house. So there could be something that you're keeping to yourself for right now. This is also a house where things dissolve. So even though this house can represent endings, with positive energy like this, I don't see this being a negative energy. So if something is dissolving, it's likely something that you're okay with or looking forward to. Jupiter and Uranus here can bring unexpected revolutionary change, and this also represents overseas travel. This is a house of connection to our spirit world. And as I've been saying in lots of videos for Gemini, this is a time where you have likely for years now been building in your psychic downloads and connection to the unseen realm. So time to yourself and time to retreat right now could be part of what you're experiencing and what you're drawn to. So if that's the case, take that time out. With Mars in your 11th house, there could be a lot of people that need your attention, and you've been going through a lot of 10th house activity too, where Saturn still is. So the public eye can be still quite demanding, but make sure that you take that time out and that time to balance and retreat if that's what you're feeling called to do. Venus in the 12th house too represents a lot of pleasure and beautiful experiences in this retreat. So wonderful time to go overseas. If some of you are planning some travel, I think it'll be a very pleasurable escape. This wouldn't be travel for work necessarily, even though there is some connection to Saturn in your 10th house. So maybe a retreat and an escape is actually what's benefiting work for you. With Venus in the 12th house, I would use this more for retreat and escape and take a break and a time out, and wait until next month for any kind of beauty updates or buying new clothes or any of those things. This could be an energy of leaking money too, so dissipating money more than usual if that applies to some of you. Again, that will fade, and over the next couple of months, you'll feel that rebuild when Venus moves into your first house and your second house especially. The demands that you are experiencing from your networks and community could be a little triggering right now. There could be some triggering communication that makes you want to take a break. This is because Mercury and Chiron are conjunct in your 11th house and Mars is there. The node is there. So there's a lot of activity around restructuring those networks and community. And it could be how you are as a leader that is part of this restructuring because of the longer transit with Saturn in your 10th house. You could feel slightly restricted in your leadership ability, and that's part of the process of redoing how you show up as a leader and how you show up in your public image. So there's something connected to all of these three areas of your life right now that are going to have some overlap, and the story will be different for each of you. But if you're dealing with any difficulties with your public image and the people that are your audience, then that is in order to just improve and see where things can shift and change and be a bit different. Probably to do with your clarity in your public image, that you are no longer being wishy-washy when it comes to what you show other people. You're learning to be a little bit more rigid in your persona and lead with showing a more restricted side of yourself than you typically would. And this doesn't mean with close friends or close family, closer people in your life. This is more of your general public image and how you portray yourself there. So Gemini, you are going to get a lot of activity next month. You have Jupiter in your house for a whole year. This is wildly exciting. This brings all kinds of benefits, expansion. There could be healing for your body. There just can be a lot of gifts and blessings that come starting in June for a whole year for you. So take this time to take a break if you feel called to. That's what the energy looks like here. And do it in a way that is guilt-free and restorative, because starting in June, your birthday month, there is going to be so much activity that you're going to want to save some energy for that. So have a wonderful moon cycle, Gemini, and I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is an 11th house new moon for you. What a beautiful place to have a new moon. This is all about networks, community, those people that have your back in life, your allies, your audience. And for some of you, this could represent the beginning, the seeds planting of a long-held wish coming true. You might not see these results right away, but looking back, you will notice this new moon was the beginning of beautiful changes in that part of your life. And you might see more of that come to fruition in about 6 months. With Venus here and Jupiter and Uranus have just had their great conjunction, that energy is still very high and activated by this new moon. So what that means is that something revolutionary, healing, very blessed energy is happening with networks, friends, audience. It could have to do with females and romance because of Venus's presence here. It might be that you are just feeling more pleasure with your friends, your big communities. So this isn't your closest friends, but these are wider networks that support you in life. You do have a lot of 10th house activity too, and I'm going to get into that, but that has to do with career motivation, your public image. You are healing wounds around your public image, and you are using your expression and your mental state to move that forward in a really healthy way. So as your public image changes, your networks and colleagues and the people that support you when it comes to work could also be part of what's manifesting. Now with this 10th house activity, the North Node is here too. This is a time where you're experiencing fated change when it comes to your public image. This has to do with status, career, general visibility. People are seeing you as very passionate and motivated right now. They might be seeing a chattier side of you, and the communication is likely motivated to help and heal and nurture other people. Because even though your 10th house is ruled by Aries, which is a very action-oriented, motivated, inspiring energy, So you have this as a leader, but ultimately you are a sweet nurturer, Cancer. And with Chiron in the 10th house, I think that more of your nurturing side is shining through. It could be that some of you are just frustrated and that's starting to show a little bit more. But Mars likes to be in Aries where it is in your 10th house right now. So it's going to be showing more of its positive attributes, which are probably more in line with passion and motivation and inspiration and taking charge. But sometimes those energies are fueled by frustration. Behind it all, I do see this. Maybe you're feeling frustrated, but at the same time, you are bringing forth this healing, warm, nurturing energy that is helping other people out. And maybe it is your goodwill towards others that is benefiting some of this beautiful new moon energy in your 11th house of community and networks. You could be building good karma as a leader and having that show up with the people that you surround yourself with. Another piece of this story is Saturn in your 9th house. So you might be going through some changes with your belief systems. Maybe there are things that have been challenging your belief systems. I don't see this particular energy during this cycle to be challenging, but more the benefit and the healing that's coming from the challenges that you have been facing with your belief systems. For some of you, this has to do with teaching, publishing. Maybe different teachers are coming into your life and showing you a different way to be a leader. There could be some discipline that's required with your belief systems, how you express those to other people. Or if has to do with teachers coming into your life, you might be experiencing teachers who are quite rigid and slowing things down for you. Though that might have been frustrating at times, this new moon is where you're going to start to see the benefits of those teachings. If you are a teacher yourself, this is beautiful energy to have your networks expanded, your audience, you're growing a following, and people are really paying attention to you and giving you a lot of respect for whatever it is that you're sharing. So if you are in work where you are sharing your belief systems, this is not an energy where you're getting a whole lot of friction. This is an energy where you're seeing support and hopefully long-term support on that endeavor. And if you are teaching and this is something that you want to be doing for a long time, I see that being part of this energy too, that you're creating stability there and it's showing up in your networks and the people that are watching you and supporting you. So a lot of fiery energy for you right now, Cancer. I see this being a really beautiful new moon that you are going to appreciate and that is really going to benefit you with work, career, and whoever it is that's paying attention. I'll see you next time. Leo, this is a beautiful new moon in your 10th house. What wonderful energy to have on an angle. 10th house is all about reputation, status, career. You are getting the recognition that you so crave, Leo. This is really good long-term energy that is here to stay. So whatever you're creating with your public image is really getting some stable forces behind it. With Venus here, everybody is seeing you in a beautiful light. Take advantage of this window, Leo. If you have presentations to do, if you have a business to launch, if you really anything in the public eye, there could have been something around April 20th and is going to continue to be activated over the next couple of months. This is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. This is transformational energy for how you're seen in the world. And with Venus making its conjunction there next after this new moon, you're really getting all of the beauty and pleasure and joy out of your public experience. So go for it, Leo. Anything at all that you want to put on display for the world, this is a beautiful window to do it in. You could be very motivated to get your spiritual beliefs across. This is fueled by something that maybe has hurt you in the past, and you are motivated to express your beliefs around the world. Something that is healing and maybe new, something that's cracking the mold a little bit with Aries, because this is the beginning energy. This is brand new stuff. So you're not taking a really old concept and presenting it to the world. It could be based on something that's more foundational, but you are bringing something that is very fresh. And I really like seeing that. You might have been going through a period where you're not feeling so supported by others. Your intimacy with other people could be challenged, and your finances or resources being supported by others might have had some challenging pieces. If you've been reworking stuff when it comes to your psychology and any past trauma that you've been through, this is a new moon where you're going to start to see the benefits. Looks like you're sharing it with the rest of the world, which is a beautiful thing. So some of that hard work in your 8th house with Saturn is paying off. And this process isn't always easy. Saturn can be a really tough teacher. And in your 8th house, there's some stability there, which is great. But this 8th house in general can be upheavals and sudden reversals. It is generally a house where you want to see support and intimacy from other people, but Saturn could create some restriction there. So if that's the case and you've been going through that in phases, then this is an energy you're going to look forward to, where you start to see why you've been going through some of those more challenging cycles and how it's really going to benefit your reputation and your public image. If you're going through psychological trauma healing, then it's starting to change your energy field, and it's changing how other people see you. So as a leader, it could be having great benefits in how you're coming across to other people, and your leadership skills are really shining through right now. With a 10th house new moon like this is something that could have some sudden changes to yourself and your body and the tools that you lead with, the tools that you have to get through life with. So depending on your personal chart and where some of your angles and personal planets are, if you have anything around 18 degrees, give or take 5 degrees on each side when it comes to Leo, then there's going to be a really strong activation of that planet or angle, and that could tell a different story for your personal chart. So if you know your chart, check those things out. But for all Leos, this is a really big deal to have a new moon on an angle, and especially with the type of beautiful energy that's shining through. And it's not over. The next couple of months have a lot of promise for some of the blessings and new beginnings that have been in the background all year, that may not have felt as positive, that might have felt like more upheaval, and for some of you, stressful upheaval. Especially with Pluto in your 7th house, there's a lot of, depending on your personal chart, this is a deeply transformative energy, but it's also at an angle. So it is affecting Leos more than some of the other signs. This combination can create sometimes more jarring changes, and Pluto is a very slow moving planet, so it's going to be in your 7th house opposing your 1st house for 20 years. So this is not going to apply to all of you all the time. It's going to come in bursts and small cycles, but I feel like it's worth mentioning at the time of this new moon, because even though the degrees aren't that close, we're still talking about the angles in astrology, which is the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th, and that is still going to have a big impact, even if it's running in the background. So Lots of positive energy for your public image, Leo. I think you're going to like this a lot. And you're not somebody that is afraid of the limelight. So soak it in this cycle. Do everything you can to make the most of this positive wave. And I will see you next time. Virgo, this is a ninth house new moon for you. And what a beautiful energy. Ninth house is all about your spiritual beliefs, how you view the world, foreign concepts, foreign people, teaching, having teachers come in. So with this energy, I do see that you could be teaching, or you could have a new spiritual teacher come into your life, somebody that has long-term potential, lasting potential. And if you're teaching, then you're also getting possibly a connection with someone else that really facilitates this journey for you and also has stable, long-lasting potential. This is an energy where you could be organizing your teaching material more and your spiritual beliefs. So with an 18-degree moon, this is Virgo energy, and it could mean that you're using your strengths as a uber organizer to get organized, organize your material, make sense of it, put together different beliefs and concepts, and create something brand new. Especially with Jupiter Uranus here, you could be developing concepts that are combining a lot of different ideas and bringing something new to the table, which as a Virgo, you are overqualified for the job because you have this innate ability to take concepts and material from all different places and all different angles, compartmentalize it, make sense of it, and explain it really well to other people. It's a gift that you bring to the world. So I love seeing all of this energy in the ninth house for you, because I think that a lot of Virgos out there are developing their teaching skills and their spiritual belief sets and sharing it with others. This could be creating deeper, intimate bonds as well. With Mars and Mercury and Chiron and the North Node all in your 8th house, you're working possibly on your own psychological pain and trauma and transforming that. You could be really motivated for that right now, and there might be fated changes with that and any wounds that you have that with intimacy or being supported by others. This is a house of other people's resources. So if you have any blockages to support and being helped by others, as Virgos sometimes do, because you are the helper of the zodiac. So you like to be there for other people, but the energy has to go around. The energy has to come in and go out. Otherwise, a Virgo can get very sick and depleted. So if this sounds like you, this is an opportunity to really create some change on how you receive from others, and know that you give so much that you are very deserving of having all of that energy come in as well. With Saturn in your 7th house, you might still feel restricted when it comes to support from others or your significant partner. If that has been the case, this new moon does have the potential to change your mindset around that. So if the restriction that you're feeling from other people, I don't want to say it's all in your head, but if you are processing the world through pain and you're not focusing on, but you might have past experience baggage that is running in the background and giving you this belief that the world is not supportive, that the world does not have your back, or that the significant people in your life that should support you somehow are not showing up in the way that you would like to. It could be that you're starting to shift how you see things, and what you saw as lack of support in the past might have a different understanding to it. You might start to see that, well, that person might have other things going on that are weighing them down personally, and they can't show up for me exactly in the way that I would like them to, but they do this and they do that, and you're starting to see how the love shows up in other ways. If you have a teacher coming into your life, this has long, steady potential. So it's somebody that's going to be around for a while and really help you sort out your spiritual beliefs, and perhaps help you as a teacher if you are in that kind of teaching role in any way. With Venus traveling alongside this new moon, this could have to do with relationships. Maybe there's something overseas or with a foreign person that has foreign ideas compared to you, and that's starting to transform how you believe and how you see the world. And as a Virgo, you're very willing to take this on. You like having different ideas show up, and you like a more cerebral experience with other people. So having opportunity for people to come in and show you different ways of thinking and being and believing is in this case positive energy, and because you're a Virgo, it's going to be welcomed and appreciated. And that could be bringing more passion to your intimate connections. So that's another manifestation of Mars in your 8th house, is that if you are in intimate bonds with other people, you could be more motivated to deepen that intimacy. This could have to do with sexual passion as well. And this is in the 8th house. Sexual passion is very deep and psychological. This is deep soulmate bonds and connection. This isn't the 5th house where the sex is more play and casual, and these are fun love affairs, though there can certainly be some overlap. But the focus here is on the depth of the experience for you, Virgo. And this has some karmic fated energy to it too. So people that are here to support you in the world, teachers, spiritual leaders, intimate partners, this is a lot of activity from other people for you right now, Virgo. So take it all in. If you have any blocks to receiving energy or ideas, this is a time where those could go through some healing. And I see this as a beautiful energy to be receptive to. Soon Jupiter is going to be in your 10th house, and you are going to be shining. Your public image is going to be on fire, and you're going to have a lot of healing around that too. So that's a lot to look forward to coming in June. But for now, we're going through the last little bit in your 9th house, and whatever spiritual work that you have going on is starting a fresh, beautiful, new, stable, structured, pleasurable path. Enjoy. Hi, Libra. This is an 8th house new moon for you. So this is sudden reversals, support from other people, financial, emotional. This is deep, intimate bonds, soulmate connections. Something revolutionary and unexpected has just happened with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction here, April 20th. And if you are not feeling it yet, then this new moon is another budding moment where some unexpected blessings could show up. This can certainly be money, so support in a material way from others or your significant other. But really, I want to talk about the deep emotional bonds and the psychological transformation that can happen here. It could be sudden. It could be out of nowhere, that something just changes for you in your psyche, something that's been holding you back at a subconscious level, and boom, it's gone, and you're free, and you're feeling like you can connect more authentically with other people. With Venus here and in the sign of Taurus, this is beautiful, pleasurable energy, so adds even more pleasure to your deep, intimate bonds. If there's a lot of psychological work going on, this could have to do with women, family the female family lineage, so mothers, sisters, or romance. Perhaps beauty too. So if you have psychological wounds around your beauty and your image and how you appear to others, then that is also going through some healing. Especially as Venus moves through and then has its conjunction to the Jupiter and Uranus point, that's going to be another manifestation of the Venus energy in the eighth house, which typically is going to be about art, pleasure, beauty, and romance. Now, with Mars in your seventh house, there's either a lot of passion with your partner, or this could be an opportunity for frustration, anger. Because it's in Aries, I do see Mars showing up in its more beneficial ways. So you're probably feeling, maybe your partner is showing up with more energy and more passion than usual. And this could be an opportunity for healing wounds with partnerships, especially when it comes to communication. With this seventh house and eighth house activity, and Venus and Mercury is now moving direct in your partnership sign, if communication has been disrupted in April, then you can look forward to a smoother experience this month. So get those words out, have those tough conversations. With an energy like this new moon, it's going to go well, and it's going to create healing and recovery from anything that's blocking your bonds with others. Deep, intimate bonds, but also in our material world, this shows up in tangible ways. So what I mean by that is that if we have any blockages to our energy when it comes to our intimate connections, that could also block the material support that we get from other people. When that dissolves under an energy like this, then this opens up opportunity for financial, material support in this material world as well. With Saturn moving through your sixth house, you are going through a phase where your day-to-day activities and routines and habits are being restructured. You might find that you have less time to work, less time to get things done. Maybe if you were working too hard, then some of that is being brought down, and you're getting more time to nurture those intimate bonds. This could have to do with unexpected resources coming in, and you just don't have to be as busy every day as you used to. That would be one beautiful way that this could show up. And if you've been feeling stressed with your restructuring of your day-to-day activity with Saturn there, this could also have to do with health. I do see that these eighth house changes are beautifully benefiting this Saturn in your sixth. So psychological healing could transform illness. There's potential for that energy. Psychological healing could have you feeling more organized on a day-to-day basis and creating more space for healthy routines. It's often when we're feeling, at least for myself, if we're feeling psychologically unwell, my routine gets tanked and I'm not doing the things I want to be doing, indulging in more unhealthy, self-soothing behaviors. And this is an energy where that's shifting. So you have that to look forward to. I think any work that you've been putting in making your day-to-day routines better, that's starting to pay off. If it is related to employees, which it sometimes can be in the sixth house, then any restrictions or difficulties you've been facing with your employees could start to heal and shift, and you might get more of the benefits of Saturn there, which is hard work and discipline and positive restructuring. There still could be some delays in getting that day-to-day stuff done, but it's with this moon sending healing vibes to your sixth house, any delays are going to be welcomed. This could be a welcome slowdown in how much stuff you have to do every day, and connected to that psychological space. So spend more time with your significant other if you have room for that. Spend more time deeply bonding with others. Spend more time. There could be a new opportunity for financial support to come in, and welcome that in whatever way you can. Enjoy this beautiful new moon energy, Libra. You are going through an eclipse year, and whatever changes are happening at this new moon are likely still connected to some of the fated experiences that you're going through with yourself and another person, to create the changes that you've been looking to. I'll see you next time.